there everyone, I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV's weekend recap, and man, this is one of the last ones for the season. I believe the second to last one, but the content won't stop. Don't worry, there's still the Champions League tournament to take in alongside the Europa League tournament. August will be a fun ride, boys and girls. But for now, let's take a look at a few leagues that ended and another one that is yet to come to its conclusion, although the title winner is decided already. It's over. A weird and wacky season where the top 4 points requirement was the lowest it's been since I think 2004, 2005, where a team everyone thought would get relegated ended up in 9th, and Arsenal didn't even manage to land in a Europa League qualification spot. By the way, I'll react to my nightmare Premier League predictions very soon. Predicting is not my forte, but that's okay. I still do it for you guys so you can laugh at me. Now, isn't that a selfless act? No? That video should be out tomorrow morning at the latest. But anyways, let's look at what happened on the final day. We won't be able to linger on every single match as there's a ton to talk about. Let's start at the bottom as Aston Villa managed to survive after they got a 1-1 draw away to West Ham United. As has been mentioned many times across the internet already, but that goal that they conceded against Sheffield United upon football's return, you know, the one that blatantly crossed the line and wasn't given, that's going to cause some major heartburn in Watford and Bournemouth fans, because they were competing with both Bournemouth and Watford for Premier League survival. Bournemouth put in a great performance against a admittedly quite poor Everton team as of late. Bournemouth with a 3-1 win over Ancelotti's boys, which brought them up to 34 points, 1 point less than Aston Villa. So, could Watford do it? Up against Arsenal, I mean, you wouldn't hate their chances, you know? Arsenal are one of those clubs that you could picture dropping a stinker against a relegation embattled club, but after just 33 minutes, Arsenal were 3-0 up, thanks to Kieran Tierney and Aubameyang. Oba scored a penalty, then set up Tierney. Tierney's been very solid to close out the season, and then Aubameyang scored a lovely goal that was, yes, nicely set up by Tierney. Nice little bicycle kick there to take him up to 22 goals, one shy of the Golden Boot winner Jamie Vardy. Watford were handed a lifeline when Troy Deeney converted a penalty before the half. That was the 5th penalty that David Luiz has conceded this season, which according to Opta is the most that any player has ever conceded in a single Premier League season. Record-breaking stuff from David Luiz this year, and he'll be back for more at Arsenal next season. He can go after 6 penalties conceded. Anyway, Danny Spellcheck, the Welbeck, spurned his old club to make it 3-2 in the 66th minute, but that was all that they could muster in the end. 3-2 Arsenal, meaning that Aston Villa have survived, as I already said, as they have a single point more than both Bournemouth and Watford, and we'll go over the entire table later. Just hang on, my friend. Oh, and finishing off at the bottom of the table, Norwich ended their season against Manchester City and were sent back down to the Championship with an absolute clapping. 5-0, the 5th time Man City have won 5-0 this season alone, the 4th time they've won 5-0 since the return of football in June. That's impressive. David Silva played his final match for Manchester City in the Premier League. I mean, what a legend he has been for that club. Kevin De Bruyne scored a brace and grabbed an assist as well, as he tied the record for the most assists in a single season. Throw his 13 goals in there, and he was involved in 33 Premier League goals for Manchester City. Not too shabby at all. The man he tied, one of my favorite players of all time, Thierry Henry. Brighton, allegedly Adam Lallana's next club, beat Burnley 2-1 in the second match that meant nearly nothing from this weekend, while Liverpool beat Newcastle 3-1 in the final match that meant almost nothing this weekend. Liverpool finishing with 99 points, 2 more than last season when they missed out on the Premier League title by a single point. Now that, my friends, is consistency. 97, 99, if they keep improving, gonna be tough to beat. Oh, sorry. Southampton versus Sheffield United was another match that didn't mean much, as both teams knew that they were going to finish about dead center in the table. Southampton with another victory. They were fantastic since the return, only losing to Arsenal. Danny Ings with another goal. And another stat here from Opta. This one is amazing. Since Southampton lost 0-9 against Leicester City on October 25th, they went on to earn a further 44 points, 2 more than Leicester managed to win since that night, which was 42. And then a little Opta trust at the end there. Truly remarkable. Like I said, I believe it was last week, this is a lesson in sticking with your manager. They could have sacked him and brought in somebody to just keep their heads above water, but Hasenhüttl not only did that, but brought them within 7 points of Europa League qualification. That's fantastic. And speaking of Leicester, they face Manchester United in one of the most important matches of the weekend with Champions League football qualification on the line. One of the two very important matches from this weekend, actually, in that respect, as far as Champions League stuff goes. And United won the match thanks to a Bruno Fernandes penalty, with Jesse Lingard getting his first goal involvement of the Premier League season and his first Premier League goal since, I believe, 2018. That was a very funny goal as well for his return to scoring. That 2-0 loss meant that the Chelsea result was relatively null and void, as Leicester would finish in 5th regardless of what happened there, but Chelsea did indeed get a solid victory over Wolves, winning 2-0 with goals from Mount and Giroud, nice little free kick from Mount, and a clean sheet for Caballero as well, by the way, as Lampard dropped Lil Kepa for this match. I've got a lot of love for Giroud, man. He stuck around at Chelsea despite being largely unused for much of the season. Only 18 appearances, and yet he's failed to score just 3 times since English football returned in June, and he has a chance to score yet again next Saturday in the FA Cup final. And by the way, Frank Lampard getting 4th with this Chelsea team is the best that an English manager has ever done in their first season in the Premier League. And so, let's look at the final table. You already know the top 2, but United finish in 3rd on 66 points, with Chelsea in 4th, also on 66. Leicester in the Europa League, while Tottenham are in the Europa League qualifiers. Wolves will have to wait and see what happens in the FA Cup to learn their European fate, with Arsenal behind them in 8th, and Sheffield dropped to a, albeit very respectable, 9th place. They'll be thinking of what could have been though, man. That's gotta be tough. Disappointing end in their last 3 games. Brutal season for Everton as they finished behind both Burnley and Southampton in 12th, only 5 points ahead of Newcastle. Crystal Palace were already on holiday in June, and it showed. Norwich, Watford, and Bournemouth all relegated. Close calls for Villa and West Ham as well, but Moisinho, he survives. Golden Boot, Jamie Vardy wins the damn thing. De Bruyne wins the Playmaker of the season for the 2nd time in 3 years, and Ederson wins the Golden Glove for the most clean sheets. Let's do a little tour around the leagues here, as in Turkey, the champions, Istanbul Baseksehir, managed to win their first trophy in their 30-year history despite losing 2 of their last 3 matches. I mean, it helped that Trabzonspor have the exact same form in their final 3 matches, so big up to Baseksehir, congratulations to them and all their fans. They'll represent Turkey in the Champions League next season. Trabzonspor is banned from all European competition for a couple of seasons, which is a big help to the rest of the teams behind them. So, despite finishing in 3rd, which usually would get you Europa League, Besiktas will go into the Champions League qualifiers as they benefit from that Trabzonspor ban. Then in the Europa League group stage, we'll see Sivasspor and Galatasaray as they'll be in the qualifiers alongside Alanyaspor. Worryingly for Fenerbahce, they won't be playing any European football next year. And as for the Golden Boot, with 3 goals in his final 2 matches, Trabzonspor's Norwegian attacker Alexander Sorloth claims with 24 to Papis Cissé's 22. Man, remember Papis Cissé? We'll never forget that goal against Chelsea, man. Never. 35 years old now and still scoring. I mean, 22 goals in a top flight in Europe? Not bad. The final matches were also played in Portugal this weekend, and thankfully I wasn't punching my newly painted walls in frustration as Benfica won 2-1 over Sporting. Seferovic with a goal. You love to see it. Despite him being pretty shit most of the time, at least this season, and the season before last, I don't dislike the dude. I disagreed with him shushing the Benfica fans when he scored a goal, as he absolutely did nothing to back up that shushing later, but he still is kind of likable somehow. Azeit the Benfiquista will back me up on that one, right? I mean, I feel like we see eye to eye on that subject, judging by one of your tweets. Vinicius scored the winner for us in this match, as we saw 3 players finish the Liga season on 18 goals. 2 of them being Benfica players, as PZ, Vinicius, and Taremi all finished on 18. Taremi, of course, being heavily linked with the move to Benfica, so it could be all 3 players are Benfica players when looking at it in whatever. Anyway, Braga hosted the champions Porto and beat them 2-1. Trincão with his final contribution to Braga before his move to Barcelona. And it was a big one, setting up Fran Sergio for the winner, as that win took Braga above Sporting into 3rd, despite losing a coach and having a turbulent season at times. They won a cup, finished third, and got their second highest points total ever in the Primera Liga. At the bottom of the table, Vitória de Setúbal ensured they would be staying up by getting a 2-0 win over B-SAD. I love calling them that. That win meant that Porto went down, even though they won 2-0 over the dead team walking Aves, playing each other on the final match and going down together. Very cute stuff from Portimonense and Aves. So, at the top, you already know the top three, but Rio Ave played out a solid season to qualify for the Europa League. Famalicão just missing out on their first attempt since getting promoted to the Primeira Liga. Unlucky. Cue the Lucas Leiva meme there. And yeah, that's it in Portugal. We got the Taça de Portugal coming up very soon. Benfica, Porto. I hope we end the season on a high. In Italy on Friday, we saw Milan and Atalanta play out a 1-1 draw, effectively ending Atalanta's very, very outside shot of winning the Serie A. I mean, it would have required a massive collapse from Juve and a perfect finish to the season from Atalanta. Milan, though, man, what a free kick from Hakan Çalhanoğlu, his 8th goal of this season, as he has been on fire lately. Involved in 8 goals in the last 4 matches alone, racking up the assists and getting a few goals to boot. Inter, despite facing a poor team in Genoa, looked much better in their 3-0 win. A brace from Lukaku as he looked quite decent, and a goal from Alexis. The wage problem, Sanchez. Sanchez's numbers aren't too bad as of late, actually. He scored 2 and assisted 4 in his last 5 matches. His biggest problem is his wages, as alluded to. Napoli and Sassuolo was a thrilling match. Not so thrilling for Sassuolo, however. I truly enjoy watching them play. At least going forward, that's for sure. But they were really not having fun watching the VAR decisions rolling in, man. Sassuolo had 4 goals called back for offside. Correctly, mind you, but you still have to feel for them, man. They were playing very well. Especially since Napoli ended up winning 2-0, an early goal from El Said Haissaj, and a late strike from Alan to ensure that they stayed within touching distance of Milan in the standings. Lazio were big 5-1 winners over Hellas Verona, which caught me a bit by surprise, to be honest with you, as Verona have been a tough... Well, I mean, they were a tough team anyway. They've been bad lately. Wins have been hard to come by for them. Ciro Immobile with the hat trick. 2 of the goals were scored from the penalty spot. That takes his goal scoring record to 34, 14 of which have been penalties. Ciro running away with the top scorer accolades. I'm fine with that. Cristiano Ronaldo tried his best to close the gap in Juve's match against Sampdoria, but he could only muster a single goal. Well taken goal though, very well taken. As I said on Twitter, just when you thought Pjanic was finally getting an opportunity to slap a free kick on goal, because Ronaldo always takes them, he ends up squaring to Ronaldo. Good decision that in the end, but it was quite funny. The one time it looks like he's going to do it, he squares to Ronaldo for Ronaldo to score. Good decision. Bernardeschi later scored from a Ronaldo rebound. Ronaldo hit a penalty off at the bar, and Juve won the match 2-0 and the Serie A. And winning their 9th consecutive title in a row, Maurizio Sarri also became the oldest manager to win it, apparently. How do you like that stat? I heard that in the broadcast I was watching, and I thought, hey, I gotta include this. Old man did it. Not a perfect season from Juve by any means, as they lost both the Super Cup to Lazio and the Coppa Italia to Napoli, and are currently a goal behind Lyon in the UCL, but they got it done in the league. You know? They have work to do in the midfield, but they have a good base to work with at least. Standings. Juve get their 83 points, so they are 7 ahead of second placed Inter, Atalanta and Lazio in tow on 75 each to round out the top 4. And then we have Roma, AC Milan and Napoli all battling it out for Europa League spots, and it should be a very fun finish. Speaking of finishes, this episode is absolutely finished. I'll be back very, very soon though with a reaction to what turned out to be nightmare Premier League predictions. But hey, I don't mind. Predictions aren't my strength. I've realized that. I've come to that conclusion, although I'm sure you had already. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I love you, and I'll see you very soon. Ciao.